I watched some select C-dramas this year, and I've come away with some of my favorite C-drama couples who I think had the best chemistry in 2024. Hi, I'm Monique. I am the host of Off by Purple Heart podcast, where I talk to you about K-dramas, C-dramas, BTS, and so much more. Let's get into the list. I'm going to start off with number 5, and this is going to be a tie, and it's mainly because of the actor involved in both projects, which is Yushi, and I loved him in Melody of the Golden Age and Love Game in the Eastern Fantasy. I'm sorry. Everything about this actor and his presence, I just absolutely adore. I think he had great chemistry with both female leads. I would say the chemistry is definitely much more in your face with Love Game personally, but I do think Melody as well had some really great dynamics. Mainly, I'm a girly that loves and enemies to lovers. What can I say? But overall, I think his on-screen presence makes him such an incredible talent. I'm going to also admit it, I like looking at the guy, and I just thought he did really well with the female leads. And yeah, every edit basically on TikTok, I think I saved anything to do with Shendu. I just think this actor is remarkable, and I think he just is a chemistry generator. He's my number 5. Going into number 4 now, I'm going to go with As Beautiful As You. Han Ting and Jijing were a really great modern couple. I've watched a few modern C-dramas this year. Funny enough, towards the later half of 2024, I definitely got more into the costume idol C-drama era. But I will say, as far as the modern couples and the modern C-dramas that came out, I think As Beautiful As You was my favorite. Yes, I definitely had some heavy criticism toward it, but I really think there was a lot of popping chemistry with the leads. And you know what? I'm a Shukai lover as well. I think he's just really magnetic on screen. But I think Han Ting and Jijing, they had really great dynamic, both as characters on their own. I kind of loved their own personal growth and journeys, and then coming together. I think their chemistry really shined in the initial episodes leading up to them getting together. And I think when they crossed over to the romantic zone, they were able to keep and hold that romantic tension. And even with the breakup, I was rooting for them to get back together. I kind of wish the show ended with a really big wedding and we really got to see more of the happily ever after, but what I got, I was definitely pleased with. And I just think they both had great chemistry even when they were at each other's throats. And I actually think they even had more chemistry when they were very angry with one another and they would get into each other's faces. Then I was like, ooh. So I think they had really great chemistry in a big way, and it made As Beautiful As You an enjoyable journey. Do I have some criticism for the show? Absolutely. The best friend and hooking up with her ex, I will never get over how stupid that storyline is. Oh, it pisses me off. But anyways, it's a great show all around, and I did enjoy it. My number 3 couple is a very recent entry, and I'm currently watching it. So God, I hope after I post this podcast, I don't regret mentioning them, but I genuinely am loving everything I'm seeing of them. And that is Blossom, and that is Sangmo and Dao Xiao. I absolutely adore them. I have been all about this gray-haired general, and I am really loving the actress who is playing Dao Xiao as well. I think she's really magnetic, and I really enjoy smart, cunning female leads and how they can position themselves in political matters and come out thriving, and them being strong and still being able to tap into their femininity. I really like the characterization of her. And so far, from the 18 plus episodes I've watched of Blossom, I have really enjoyed their interaction. I think their chemistry literally gets better with every episode. Every time that they advance towards one another, the way they look at each other, I'm just kind of holding my breath. there's just something that is just really special in this show, and I feel like it kind of melds two of my other favorite shows but has its own unique spin. So it kind of melds Love Like the Galaxy in a way and The Double, and kind of merges it into something of its own, and just still be a really great, enticing drama to watch. But the chemistry is completely popping between those two, and I'm just excited to see more from them as I continue to watch the show and finish it. Speaking of The Double, that goes into my number 2 couple. Absolutely, Duke Soo and Ali were like the couple for me. Honestly, they probably should be number 1, but I have another couple in mind that really took over everything for me. But I had to give Duke Soo and Ali their flowers. The Double was absolutely one of my favorite idol / costume dramas. I just think it was just action-packed. It was an impressive as hell first episode. I had a big podcast episode where I talked about just how much I was impressed by the first episode and how much it had this beautiful gothic horror and how charismatic these characters were. The cinematography, the color grading, everything about the music choices were phenomenal. But the chemistry, we're here because of the chemistry. The chemistry did not let up at all throughout the entirety of the show. I was locked in and loaded. I loved these characters down. Every interaction of them flirting, I was kicking my feet. I was throwing off the blankets. I was annoyance to anybody that was around me because I could not stop talking about that show. And you could definitely see it on my podcast. I think I have 7 individual episodes just based around The Double alone. That is how much I loved and enjoyed it, and I wish I could recapture that feeling, but I'm kind of getting that feeling right now with Blossom. But man, The Double was an incredible time. It was just, I loved it, and I still rewatch many a scenes now because it was just that damn good. Look, man, this show came out at the beginning of the year. It was cold, it was dark, it was dreary, talking about just, Canada being on one in general. And I think Amidst a Snowstorm of Love came out at the perfect time. If you know anything about me and my podcast, you know that I love Wu Lei. I love Leo Wu. I adore that man, and I will watch just about anything with him in it, and he did not disappoint me in this show. Mei Mei as well was absolutely adorable, and I enjoyed her in other projects as well. I watched The Princess Royal with her in it as well, that also came out this year. But she is something to really behold. I think she handled the characterization of Gao really well, and Yi Yang is like husband material, like the biggest green flag. There's not going to be a man on earth quite like Yi Yang. But Leo Wu really brought him to life. And I think Mei Mei and Leo together, they had some of the most natural, earth-shattering chemistry to the point where you as the viewer would feel uncomfortable watching. There's always this scene that I always reference when talking about Amidst a Snowstorm of Love, and it's when they're in the kitchen, and it has this beautiful indigo lighting, and she's backing up into the kitchen refrigerator, and Leo Wu's character Yi Yang backs her slowly up, and the way he just whispers to her, there is just so much about the show that I loved. Their chemistry though was fire. I do not care how many damn people say that they found the show boring. I was entranced from the very first episode, from when we first see Yi Yang step into the frame and he is covered in his parka and he's looking through the window of that restaurant and he sees Go for the very first time, and you can literally see, and this is brilliant acting work from Leo Wu, you can see the very second he falls in love with her and that he makes up in his mind that he has to get to know this girl, whoever she is. It is such a magical time, the Amidst a Snowstorm of Love. I remember watching that first episode and I was just so completely enchanted by this couple. And it just solidified my love for both of them even more. But you will never hear me as a shooter of A Mrs. Snowstorm of Love. I love that show down. None of y'all are going to say anything to me that's going to get me to change my mind. That is the modern C-drama for me. I think it's right up there with Hidden Love. And if you know anything about me as well, you know I love Xiao Lisa and I love Hidden Love like crazy. And Mrs. Snowstorm is like right up there. That's how damn good it was. And that's basically my list. That's my list for the best chemistry of C-drama couples this year in 2024. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section if you're watching the video format of this podcast. Do you have any couples that you think I should have mentioned? I think I got a pretty solid list, to be honest. These were my favorite, but you know, I always enjoy a little bit of discourse, so let me know your thoughts. If you're listening to the audio version of this podcast via Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I really appreciate you as well. Feel free to interact with those platforms. Please do. I do appreciate it a lot. Till the next episode.